So you come, Dave. So you're a six-figure Amazon seller and Amazon coach. Now, before we talk about tactics, product research, how you make money on Amazon, tell us about your origin story of how you got into entrepreneurship.
All right. So it's actually kind of funny. I used to be a bartender here in Miami. Okay, working like a slave, 6 days a week till 6 in the morning. And one day I was just like laying on my bed. I'm like, man, how do I create another source of income without leaving the job? Because obviously I needed money to like pay for my bills, right? I can't just be like, okay, bye bye job. Like I don't have that luxury. So I'm like, and I just go on my computer and I'm just like, all right, how to make money online. And it's funny. I came across like this Gary V video, right? And it was just like, how he rambles about business and stuff. And he said, hey, you can go right now and you can go on eBay, buy a product and sell it for more on Amazon. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I went on YouTube, and then I went down the whole like rabbit hole of all the million YouTube videos, and I stumbled across private label, which is what I'm an expert on now. It's when you actually buy wholesale products from China and you sell them individually for a profit on Amazon. and and yeah, so I started with that. I pretty much looked at a million YouTube videos. I kind of taught myself with that a little bit. I took a couple courses. And but yeah, in the very beginning, it was a lot of trial and error, but I finally came up with the formula that's worked. And I've built up to six figures now a year of passive income. Like I don't have to do anything now for that job. It's all I do for it. I just contact my supplier and I'm just like, hey, let's order more products and ship into the warehouse. That's it. Amazon takes care of shipping it, storing it. They take care of all returns, everything like that.
So your first business model in terms of Amazon was private labeling?
Private label, correct.
Is that arguably the toughest business model because, you have to slap on a Lego and you're creating an actual brand. It's not like you're just drop shipping products. You're creating an actual brand from the private label. You have to order in bulk. The minimum order quantity can be higher. So you need some capital there, right? So it can be
Yes.
more.
So yes, the barrier of entry, I would say you need about like $3,000. It's not like drop shipping, but the beautiful thing about that is the higher, bigger barrier of entry there is, the less competition. Like, yeah, drop shipping, yeah, you don't need that much, but it's extremely competitive, right? And you're also dealing with a lot of IP claims, copyrights. You have to get, you can't sell so many products of somebody else's brand. So there's pros and cons with it. Yes, you got to do your research. You got to know what niche to get into. And about as far as like worrying about like building a brand, yes, the end game with that is building a brand. But the most important thing, what I would say with private label in the very beginning, is just getting into selling products that are, those sub niches that people don't really care what brand they're buying it from, but that still make really good money, and there's a million of those on Amazon. Yeah.
So whenever, or if anyone's going into private labeling, the key here is to look at sub niches or really niche products that aren't really general, right? You want to get something that's very specific.
Yes, exactly. Not general. Correct. So the more you can narrow down a product and the more of the sub niche you can get into, the easier, right? So what I recommend, okay, don't sell a product. Don't get into products that are making 100K a month. Sell 10 products that make 10K a month, because those niches are a lot less competitive, right? And they're not going to require a big upfront capital, right? Because those products that make 100K a month, those are extremely competitive. You're going to be dealing with a lot of people trying to undercut you on price, Chinese manufacturers going into that market, right? People trying to steal your idea. It's just a big headache. So I always stay away from the noise. And that's really worked for me, just getting into those sub niche products.
Okay. So how do you kind of differentiate yourself between other products or other brands? Do you see a different way to market it, or is your product kind of different from what everyone else is doing?
Great. Yeah, man. So great questions. So how I differentiate my products is strictly, yes, I add bundles, right? I change whatever. If it's everyone's selling black, I sell white. Everyone's selling black and white, I sell pink. Everyone's selling black and white and pink, I sell blue. If you're the only offer for that, right? I always give my customer a reason to buy my product, right? So either, okay, if everyone's selling, say for example, yoga mats, it's not a good product to sell, don't sell that. But just for example, everyone's selling yoga mats, I'm going to sell my yoga mat with like yoga blocks or yoga straps. just a little product that's not going to cost you that much. You add it to your product as a free item. So it's a no-brainer for the customer to buy your product. That's it.
Okay. So whenever you do a private label product, you want to add a unique selling proposition here, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So like, yeah, you're doing your own brand, but remember, no one's going to buy a product because your brand. No one knows your brand, right?
Yeah.
So you have to give the customer a reason to click on your listing and buy over what's already on Amazon. And one of the techniques that's worked for me, it's adding little bundle items. It just kills it, right? Just think of the mind of the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Like always ask yourself, okay, if I was the customer and I search for this product and I scan whatever's on page one, right? Which one would I buy? And if you can't, if your product is not the first thing that comes up because, you know, you're okay, I'll buy that one because that one comes with a free item, then get back, rethink your product and
Mm-hmm.
come up with an offer that's a no-brainer for the customer.
No, yeah, that does sound very, very intuitive. But how long did it take you to understand that concept? Like, did you kind of just get into Amazon and you just killed it? You were just
No.
good like that? Or did you fail
No.
after many
No,
months?
so yes. So my first product failed completely. Okay. Two mistakes I did on that. I sold the exactly same thing that everyone was selling on Amazon. Did not differentiate. I thought I'm going to sell that same product and I'm just going to buy so many in the beginning. I'm going to get it for cheaper and I'm going to compete on price. A lot of mistakes on that. Mistake number one, like I said, I saw this exact same thing as somebody else. Number two, I was trying to compete with price. Number one, whenever you get on Amazon, don't ever just come in, I'm just going to sell it for cheaper. No one wins on that. You have a low price, then they see that you have your lower price, your competitor will lower their price, then you lower your price and no one wins. Right. And the third thing was I ordered way too much. So like I ordered like $4,000 worth of products. Right.
Sheesh.
And I should have never done that. You know, my advice to you guys is with private label, and yes, you can negotiate these numbers with your suppliers, which is what I teach in my coaching program, is you want to always get like 100 pieces to 200 pieces in your first order. Very minimal risk. Throw it up on Amazon, you know, run your PPC and see how well it performs, right?
Okay.
Get actual data. Right. And then after you have validated your product, then you can go back to your supplier and get like 1,000 units, 2,000 units, whatever your 3-month worth of inventory it is.
So once you kind of have that minimum order quantity just to test the market out and you see that it's validated, do you kind of add some modifications, maybe tell the supplier to add this or that, for example, whatever it is, to make it more viable?
Wait, what was the question again?
So once, say you order 100 units, which is the supplier's minimum order quantity, and you want to validate the idea that this product is going to sell on Amazon, right? Now, once it's validated, say it's sold out, do you kind of go back to the supplier and over time, over a period of time, do you add maybe more features or another unique selling proposition so that you ensure that you're going to sell a lot more?
Okay. So if your product sells out, then there's not really a reason to add more. If it starts to decrease in sales, then yes, you can add something else.
Okay.
But if there is no reason to, if you, like you said, if it's sold out, it's sold as many as the people on page one, you're ranked with those 100 units. There's no reason to, but if your sales do start to decline, then yes, you can find a little add-on item to give more people, like I said, more of a reason to purchase your product.
So right now, where do you primarily focus on? You said that you first got into private labeling. So you do FBA. What are the main sources or business models that you do for Amazon?
So right now, so strictly, I'm just still private label. I did wholesale for a while, but I'm strictly private label, and I have my Amazon coaching business, and that's pretty much kept me busy this year. So wholesale is great, but I don't really have time to like get on the phone, open up accounts with brands. You know, I have to train a bunch of virtual assistants. So like I've figured it out. Instead of like chasing a bunch of different business models, I was just like, I'm just going to get good at one, right? I mean, in private label, it's extremely scalable. Like you can, you can get to the 20 millions a month easily. So there's no reason to like go to like wholesale or, drop shipping, which I'm not saying it's bad. If you're good enough to like, you can do all of them, then yeah. But I just focused on private label, and that's really worked for me. I'm selling in the UK now, I'm selling in Australia, and Amazon is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So
So let's just break it down, in
Hmm.
terms of what the very first step is. And I think, let me know if I'm wrong here. The first
Yeah.
step here is product research. And like you mentioned before,
Mhm.
that it's not about the brand if you're doing private labeling, it's more about what new category you can implement. So for your example, the yoga mat, if there's if everyone's selling white yoga mats, sell a blue one. So is
Yeah.
that your very first thing that, okay, what's in the market? Can I find another subcategory in that so I can
Yeah.
be the only person selling that?
Yeah. So what you want to do is whenever you're looking for a product, number one is you want to use product research softwares,
Mm-hmm.
Viral Launch, Helium 10, Jungle Scout. Those are the three main ones. And these softwares give you the information on the product. So it's like a little Chrome extension. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Google Chrome extension. You hit this button and it shows you all the data on a certain product. Okay. Without these tools, you're pretty much just shooting in the blind. You need these tools to know what to get into, because these tools show you exactly how much money a product is making, what's the sales history, right? What's the average reviews on the market? Like, these are all very important data points that you need to look for when getting into a market. So like, that's the step number one. Before
Mm-hmm.
you even thinking about differentiating your product, adding a bundle, you first need to make sure that the markets you're getting into have really good revenue, but have low competition. And by low competition, I mean everybody on page one needs to have low reviews. Because when you're getting into this market and say, for example, everyone has 5,000 or more reviews, then no, you can add free items, but still no one's going to buy your product, because they're going to be like, okay, this guy has 5,000 reviews and this guy has two. Well, that's a little sketchy. I'm not going to buy that. Right. So, and people on Amazon, and obviously everyone shops on Amazon, you guys do this all the time, they're really looking to reviews. Reviews equal social proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't touch the product, so sellers rely on reviews to make sure that it's a good product. So what I recommend is getting to markets where everybody on page one usually has like less than 300 reviews, right? Or the average product on there has less than 300 at most. And that'll definitely increase your chances of, selling out your product.
Wait, let's talk about that for a second, because what you
Mhm.
said is super important.
Yeah.
Even as a buyer myself on Amazon, people tend to look at the reviews, right? No matter what, there's gonna be 10 brands selling the same product, but
Mhm.
the one with the best review is the one you're gonna get, right? Now, when you're private labeling, you're starting from scratch, zero reviews, zero everything.
Mhm.
Do you give incentives so that people can leave a review? So, for example, not too long ago, I think I bought some headphones from
Yeah.
this company on Amazon, right? I didn't know what
Mhm.
the brand was, but it was cheap, had good reviews. Point is, in their packaging, they had a mini card. If you leave a review, you get like a
Yeah.
$5 coupon. So, is that a key here? Because, of course, the
No.
more, so what do you
No,
do?
no. So that's extremely against Amazon's terms of service.
Ooh,
Okay,
okay.
asking, yeah, yeah. So they're that did that, they're just kind of like, that's a risky, because like obviously they're shipping their products to the warehouse. If the worker sees that coupon and they report them, their
Oh, I
account
did
is
not
done
know
for.
that.
Yeah, Amazon is very strict with that. Okay, they don't want like they take reviews very seriously, because if the word gets out that all the reviews are fake on Amazon, then that kind of Amazon loses credibility,
Yeah.
right, as a company. So they are very strict with that. They don't want you to ask for reviews in exchange for any sort of monetary value, or asking for five-star reviews anywhere on your product. So um, it's just the great way to get reviews on Amazon. I would say they have the early reviewer program that you can join whenever you have launched your product. Amazon will help you get reviews, and just have a good product, and people will leave positive reviews. That's it.
Okay, so you
There's
do have to be
no
patient.
there's
There's no
no
magic
way.
formula.
What happened?
There's no magic formula here.
Yeah, if anyone tells you like, yeah, I have a way of getting reviews, that's just risky. They're definitely breaking Amazon terms of service in a way. So you just gotta get into markets that have low reviews, so you don't have to worry about, I need reviews in order to get sales, or else I'm not gonna be able to sell out. So
Mm-hmm.
do your research, get into those niches that everyone has low reviews. So when you come in and you have low reviews, you still get sales. So you don't have to worry about, I need reviews, right? And also obviously build a better offer. like
Oh
than
yeah.
everybody else, and you're not gonna have to worry about, like, I have products that have like 2 reviews and they're making me like 3,000 a month profit, so like, so it's because I took the time, I found those markets, and I added value, so it's a no-brainer for the customer.
Mm-hmm. So the first step is done, product research, and try to find something that has a subcategory that no one else has implemented yet. Now the next step is to
Mhm.
find a supplier that can offer or get that product for you.
Yes. Next step is finding a supplier. Obviously, if you're not familiar with Alibaba, that's where you find your suppliers from. Alibaba is a site it's kind of like Amazon, looks just like it, but instead of selling you products, they connect you with manufacturers.
Okay.
So you go in there, and you look for a supplier. You got to make sure that your supplier is legit, right? It'll say right there if how long they've been working with Alibaba. So typically, I work with suppliers that've been with Alibaba for like more than 3 years. You'll contact them and you'll negotiate, because a lot of the times you can bring that initial cost down from what they advertise on Alibaba. Don't ever pay that first price that they give you. You can always negotiate with them, which is great. And yeah, you'll find literally Alibaba will get you a supplier for literally anything. Any product that you want, there's a supplier that makes it for cheap, and you can sell it on Amazon.
Now,
So
of
yes,
course,
that's the next step.
yeah, of course, Alibaba is kind of like the go-to supplier that or
Mm-hmm.
site that everyone goes to get their products, right?
Mm-hmm.
But are there any other sites that you use that are maybe more niche or offer better service, better products?
No,
Not
that's
at all,
it.
really.
I just use Alibaba. Is so big. It's just like I mean, I've never personally used any other site. Um, I'll use like 1688.com to like help me negotiate. I've never sourced from 1688. 1688 is kind of like an Amazon for China a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'll do is I'll find a product there. I'll take a screenshot of that price of that product, and I'll use that to help me negotiate with my supplier in Alibaba.
Okay, so product research done, you get
Mm-hmm.
your supplier. Now, when you find your product and you look at the supplier and you negotiate the price, I figured that there's different modes of shipping. Of course, there's FOB, DDP, EXW,
Yeah.
I think. And so that's kind of confusing because, of course, if it's FOB or EXW,
W.
you have to be responsible for shipping the product either directly from the factory in China to your doorstep or then to Amazon warehouses,
Yeah.
or they can do that entirely for you. So what do you think is the best step here?
DDP. Door
DDP.
to door.
So
Door
don't
to
worry about
door.
anything. Okay.
Don't worry about any of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's some sellers that'll say, yes, you can save some money on FOB. I mean, that's money that you save compared to like the headache. No, don't
Okay.
even. DDP straight up door to door. And for those who don't know, who are watching this, EXW is pretty much where just the supplier is just making your product. You have to hire someone to pick it up from the suppliers, take it to the international port, send it over here. Then you have to get someone to pick it up from the port here in the United States, take it to the Amazon fulfillment center. A headache. FOB, kind of they're doing half the work for you. You have to get it. When it arrives here in the United States, you have to take it to the fulfillment center. DDP just means you don't do anything. The supplier takes care of getting your product over to the
Okay.
Amazon warehouse.
So yes, that option could be more expensive because they're doing all the work for you, but you don't get any headaches. You kind of just do it for you.
Yeah, yeah. And if you can always go to ship.alibaba.com to like kind of compare rates from what your suppliers are giving you. So ship.alibaba.com is you just go there, you type in your box information, how many box you're shipping, and it'll give you a bunch of different rates. And you can just take a screenshot of the cheapest one. And if it's cheaper than what your supplier told you, you can say, hey, I find it for cheaper here. Can you talk to your forwarder? And most of the times you'll bring that cost down.
Mm-hmm. Now, this might be like, actually, you know what? So when you ship the product, there's sea freight, there's express. And of course, if you do sea freight, it takes 30, 45 days to ship it, right? And of course, your product per unit cost will be a lot lower if you do sea freight. But if you do express, it'll come in a week's time, right?
Yeah.
And that's really important because you want your unit cost to be as low as possible. And is that something that you take into consideration when looking at your products or getting them to the US?
So Yeah, so before coronavirus, my first round of inventory, which was like 100 pieces, 200 pieces, I would ship by air,
Okay.
express. Now it's like super expensive to ship by air because coronavirus. So you just have to wait. I ship everything by sea right now.
Okay.
I mean, you just gotta be patient, wait for your product to get there. Hopefully when things get back to normal, average, it was like $1 for sea shipping per piece and then $3 for air shipping. So it wasn't that much of a difference. Right now it's like $5, $6 per piece, so you're paying
Hmm.
a lot more than what you pay for it. So
Yeah.
hopefully when things get back to normal, like, yes, my first round, I would ship by air because it's such little quantity. Um, and then my second round, which is, more than 3 months worth of inventory, I would ship, by sea, and then you're golden. And then everything after that, it's all sea shipping. So you have to get
Hmm.
really good at um, planning your inventory,
Yeah.
which I have like a virtual assistant that does that now for me. But in the beginning, you got to do everything yourself. So you got to make sure you're never run out of stock. You have to plan your inventory correctly.
Hmm. So obviously, either it's 100 units, 500 units, whatever it is, you don't want to have that inventory in your house. You want to have that sent to the Amazon
Yeah.
fulfillment centers, right?
Fulfillment center. Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Well, you could just create a shipment plan from your Amazon seller account. So right now, like their warehouses, they're limiting how many units you can send on your first shipment. You can only send up to 200. So that's fine. You remember, I only get 100 pieces, 200 pieces for my first round. And then what happens is Amazon sees how many sales you generate from those 200 units, how many daily sales you get, and then they will let you send in 3 months worth of inventory. So they'll get an average daily sales, they'll calculate it, and they're like, okay, now you can send in this much. And then you tell your supplier, you ship it over to the Amazon fulfillment center, and that's how it starts.
Okay. So now the incentive of sending it to Amazon is, of course, your products have the 2-day prime shipping, right?
Correct.
But
Yes.
what are the implications, and by that, what are the costs of having your products in the
So
Amazon
yeah,
warehouses?
so Amazon's gonna take 30% total, everything, selling fees, fulfillments. So what it usually is, like from your revenue, like you're profiting, 30%. So you're selling a product for $15 on Amazon, it's costing you $5. Amazon takes five, you take five. But if you were to gonna do everything yourself, people are like, "Oh my God, Amazon is taking so much." I'm like, dude, rent a warehouse. You have to hire like 50 people because like I'm selling like 150 units a day, right? That's 150 trips to like UPS. Like, no way, man.
Hmm.
You're gonna be spending a lot more than that, dude.
Hmm.
And the fact that I can run my business literally from anywhere in the world, I just need my laptop. It's like, dude, priceless.
Yeah.
Like, yes, dude, take the 30%, take care of all of that crap. I don't want to deal with it.
I feel you. Yeah. Okay. So now the products are in the warehouse. The next step is what? You said, do you have to advertise it, or just wait and sit and hope that people will buy?
No, yeah. So you have to advertise your products. So obviously create a very good listing with great images that, it gets people to click on your listing. Make sure that your listing is search engine optimized, your title, your bullet points, your description. And then, once you get into stock, then what you want to do is you want to advertise. So you want to target like your most important keywords. So what do I mean by that? It's like, for example, if we're selling a yoga mat, okay, you want to advertise for the keyword, obviously, yoga mat, and then all the other little keywords that people are searching for on Amazon, which is called doing keyword research. Again, your product research software also have product research, keyword research tools that will literally give you all the searches that people are typing in on Amazon, right? So what you want to do is you want to advertise to show up whenever someone types in yoga mats, whenever someone types in yoga mat small, whenever someone types in yoga mats for exercising and non-slip or something like that. Like
Hmm.
all those long tail keywords you want to, advertise for.
So the copy and SEO, that's extremely, extremely important when putting
Yes.
your products on the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So the keywords that you put in your title, your bullet points, your description are extremely important because that's how Amazon knows what your product is. Like that's how the algorithm knows, okay,
Mm-hmm.
whenever someone types in yoga mats on Amazon, I'm going to show this product on the search results, right? It's called getting indexed on the search results for the keyword yoga mats, because that listing has the keyword yoga mats on the title, on the bullet points, on the description.
Okay. And now in terms of the product images, do you kind of use the images that the supplier already has in their on Alibaba, or do you use your,
No.
okay, so what do you
Yeah,
do?
you don't ever want to use that. You don't ever, yeah. So don't ever use your supplier's images, because you don't know how many people they've given those images to. And if you put it in if you put it in your listing, and then somebody else has already put those and created a listing with those exact images, and they tell Amazon, hey, those are my pictures, you get taken down.
Okay.
Or copyright infringement. So order to your house, just take white background pictures of your product, and you can just take, and then take those white background pictures and give them to a graphic designer on Fiverr.com. There's a million people that can do your product images for you. Make sure you're working. Don't go cheap with that. Make sure that someone that you hire is really good at, really have your product stand out, because your images are like by far like the most important thing. That's how people choose, pretty much. They're buying with their eyes, so.
Yeah. So you kind of send that out to a freelancer, one of your samples, and they do the
Yeah,
rest.
so I have personally, like, my team, and everyone that joins like my coaching program gets
Mm-hmm.
access to my graphic design team. Like I've been
Dope.
in this game for like 3 years, so I've already found like the right people for that job. But if you're just starting and you want to kind of do everything on your own, the site where I found my graphic designers were Fiverr.com, and freelancer.com is actually really good.
Dope. I think I forgot one important step here. So of course we went through product research. We talked to the supplier, and we kind of skipped the step of getting a sample and making sure that the product is what it
Yeah,
is. Now,
yeah.
how important is that now?
Yeah. So you obviously always want to get a sample to your house before you even purchase any units, to make sure the quality is good. You want to also buy like a couple of your competitors' products from on the page one results from your product, and compare quality, right? If it matches the best sellers quality on Amazon, or it's better, even better, and then if it's all good, then you can go ahead and purchase your product. What you can also do as well, and I do this for like products that are like a little more complex, like that have a lot of moving parts or are breakable, I'll actually send in an inspection company to my supplier's warehouse after they're done manufacturing those first 100 pieces, 200 pieces, to make sure that that supplier is giving me the good quality product. And the inspection companies are like super thorough. It's kind of crazy. They'll go in there and inspect like every little line.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want.
Okay. So after writing the copy, after doing the PPC ads, do you just kind of sit back, relax, and just wait the money to come in, or are there other steps that we're missing here?
Yeah. So from your PPCs, right, from advertising, or you're obviously going to pay for those clicks. So you want to see sales start to come in from that. Okay. If you spend like more than $100 on advertising and you haven't gotten one sale, then you have a dud, or you have to get back to the drawing board, see what's going on with your product. Is it the pictures are bad, or just you can't, or just don't have a good product. um but when you start generating sales from your ad, what you want to do is you want to track your organic rank. So that's the key. You want to organically rank on page one, and you do that by generating sales through your advertising. So what Amazon does is, whenever you start generating sales from your ad, right, as many sales as everybody else that's organically ranked on page one, what it does is, after 8 days, it takes your organic ranking listing from like page 7, because that's where you're usually going to start at. You're not going to be on page 1. And then it sees, okay, wow, okay, this people really like this product because they're buying a lot of it from this ad. I'm going to grab the organic ranking listing and I'm going to put it on page 1. And once you're on page 1, then you can decrease your ad spend, so you're not spending money on ads. And once it's organically ranked on page 1, then you can sit back and chill, right?
Okay.
You got to always just make sure that you're ranking on page 1 for all your main keywords, and then you're good. Now it's just passive income. You're not paying for the traffic. You're just getting your sales every day. Amazon is shipping the products. Then all you need to do is just make sure you're never run out of stock. Obviously, you're going to run out of stock on your first round because you only did 100 units. But then you can go back, get, your 3 months worth of inventory, send them to the Amazon warehouse. When you get back in stock, you should be able to get right back up where you were at organically. You shouldn't lose ranking that much. And yeah, that's it. Then it's
I
great.
want to I want to dive deeper into the ads part, but first I need to ask this, just out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Say you have 100 units in a warehouse and your product is dead, like no one's buying it. What happens to those products? Do they just sit there with dust, or
Yeah. So if no one's buying your products, you can do two things. You can create a removal order and have them shipped over to your house, or you can just have the team dispose of them.
they
Or
get disposed?
you can donate them as well if you want. I
Oh
have that
damn!
option. Yeah.
Oh damn! Okay. Now we spoke about the internal ad model of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to go the extra mile, I don't know if you do this or if it's a tactic where you can create an Instagram page or social media pages
Mm-hmm.
of that product, kind of make a brand.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you don't have to rely on Amazon ads. You can run Facebook ads and then direct traffic from those
Yeah.
Facebook ads to Amazon. Is that a strategy that you implement as well?
Yeah. So yeah, you can create a product funnel with
Mm,
that. With like click funnels and run ads to the funnel, and the funnel has like your Amazon listing on it. It's good. I haven't really like, I don't really need to. I know other people that do this. You could rank your product on Google as well. That's another way to like really, kill it with that. I've only making my money straight off of Amazon
okay.
traffic, which is a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't really, I mean, I've implemented that. I've run Facebook ads and all that. I just haven't found it to be like that much of a change, and not what I should need to be focusing my time on.
Mm-hmm.
I just strictly been based everything off of Amazon traffic for now. I'm starting to work into those big products that, and the only way to rank with those and compete with those is bringing external traffic to your listing. And those are the $100,000 a month products that I was talking about. But you can get into those once you have enough money to really get a lot of inventory and play with those 100K a month type of products.
Mm.
But
Now,
that's definitely more on the expert type of seller.
okay. So now let's say you got a successful product. Congratulations, you're doing good work. You're getting
Mhm.
more products from the supplier to the warehouse and you're selling even more. Now, the question is, do you want to create more products? Now, do you create more products under the umbrella of the brand you already created, or do you have to create a separate brand? And by that, do
No,
you,
no, yeah. So yeah, in the beginning, don't stress. You can just put them all under one brand, guys. You're gonna be selling products that people don't really care what brand they're buying it from. If you're being smart, right? If you're getting into markets that people care what brand they're buying it from, no one's gonna buy your product because you don't have a no-name brand. So you can just put them all under one type of big general brand. You can name your brand, just don't name your brand like I love cats or something, right? Because then people are going to be like, well, I don't know about buying this,
a
basket
cosmetics, yeah, product.
cosmetic from I love cats. So just call it like something general, and just sell all kinds of products under it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you start selling like, 200 units a day, then you can really start focusing, okay, I'm going to start building a brand off of Amazon, right? Taking the traffic, creating like your own website off of Amazon. You can put inserts on the products with your big brand name logo so people can start searching. And that's how you really build it. But in the very beginning, what I recommend, guys, focus on making money. That's it. All right.
Okay.
Focus on ranking products, making money, selling those sub niches products that no one really cares what brand they're buying it from. And I'm sure you guys have done this. Like you go on Amazon, you're not looking at brand names. You're just like, cool, that looks pretty cool. I'll buy it. Right. Like today, like I bought a paddle board and like, I don't know I just went in there. I'm like, oh, that one looks cool. I clicked on it. I bought it. I didn't look at what brand was selling it,
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So after you, in your personal case here, so
Yeah.
once you found that first successful product, that first private label product, did you just, try to replicate the same thing under a different private label product?
Yeah. So what I recommend is once you got in a niche, like you already have your supplier that makes that product. Maybe just, maybe make a different design on the same type of product and just do a second. Or you can go and find another market, which, you kind of know what numbers to look for, what works for you, what revenue that you should be looking at, how many reviews. But if you have a winning product, I recommend just do a second one on that same niche, right? Because you already have the supplier. You already know how much it takes to get ranked on page one, you know? So it's easier just do a second one. And then obviously you can only do so many under one niche. You're probably going to have to find another type of product eventually, but yeah.
Okay. So essentially, is it fair to say that you want to beat yourself, you know?
Yeah. So the more real estate you have on page one on Amazon the more sales you're going to get, right? So that's pretty much the name of the game on Amazon. You want to be showing up on as many places on Amazon, the more real estate. You want your listings everywhere, because just billions of people log in there every day. You have more of a chance to get more sales out every day.
Mm-hmm. Now, when finding, doing product research, niching down, finding new categories in the space, do you recommend to people that, depending on what they like, what they're passionate about, find things around that space, right? Or do you just kind of like, if there's a market anywhere, do your due diligence and just dive into that?
Yeah. So so yes, obviously it helps if you find a market that you're passionate about, but don't get into that thinking I'm only going to sell products that I'm passionate about, because you're going to be limiting yourself like this much,
Yeah.
just learn the skill on how to sell literally anything. I sell products that I'm like, what the hell is this? I
Yeah.
have no idea about, but I'm just following my strategy. I'm using the software that tells me. I'm literally just picking products strictly based on data. That's it. I'm data driven person. I'll get into that. I'll find a supplier, and like I have techniques to kind of help me find bundle products. Like sometimes I don't know what the product is and like what I would buy with that product, like bundle item, but I have techniques. For example, go on frequently bought together, right? Go on Pinterest, go on YouTube, literally just search for that product and like really get to know it, read the reviews, right? So there's a couple of techniques that right there that will pretty much help you find bundle items for your product, and understanding your target audience.
Yeah. So let's talk about why you got into coaching, because of course now you have to teach other people and teach them the whole processes, right? And that's going to take a lot of your time, because with that same time, you can create other stores or create other businesses outside of Amazon. Now, what was your ambition, or why did you get into coaching?
Yeah. So, honestly, I was on Facebook, and I don't know, I've always had like a thing for like helping others. And obviously, like if I can create another business, like I'm an entrepreneur, like if I can create another source of income, like fast, I'm going to do it. Right. So I kind of saw an opening. When I started my coaching program, there was just a lot of online courses at the time. And I was like, listen, people need that one-on-one time, because Amazon has a lot of moving parts and it changes literally like every month, So a course is going to get outdated literally in like 5 months. Like the strategies that they're teaching you on courses are not going to be what's happening now. So you're most likely going to fail. I would go on Facebook groups and I will just see just like sad stories. I spent my life savings launching this product. And I'm like, dude, you're launching like a neck pillow. Those are extremely competitive. Like, what are you doing? And, that it could have been easily avoided if they would have been taught properly how to look at the data, how to make sure that the markets that they get into are easy ones, And so that's what kind of drew me to coaching. And like I said, it helps to. I'm an entrepreneur. If I'm gonna find a business, I'm gonna create another one. And the thing is, like with private label, yes, like, and I can find more products, but there's that time in between when your products are being made. You kind of have a lot of free time. So I'm just like, I'll fill it up with coaching.
I always feel that to truly know a subject, if you're really a master at the subject, then that means that you know how to teach it. If you can't explain it to someone else, then that means that you don't really know it. And I feel that this goes for anyone, that as you've gone through this process of coaching people, I'm pretty sure you had to really rethink what you really implement, because you have all these ideas in your mind or these systems in your mind, but putting it to paper,
Mhm.
drawing it out for someone so they can see and implement on their own, it's a different story. And I'm pretty sure you gotten better through that as well. All right.
Yeah, no, for sure. The thing about also coaching is just it keeps you in the game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you like you're walking new people through the business, and it keeps you like always learning new things because you want to provide also for your students. You know, you want to make sure that everyone succeeds. So it just keeps you in the game. It keeps you looking for like new strategies. It keeps you like learning new things, and it helps you at the end of your own business. All right. So it just, if I wouldn't be coaching like in between times, like, you know, I would have been doing something else. So this kind of keeps me focused on Amazon as well.
Mm-hmm. So we kind of went through all the processes of, finding the product, having the supplier, having it sent to Amazon,
Mhm.
ads, and, making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever it is very sexy. But let's talk about the unsexy things here. And the
Yes.
first thing that comes to mind is that Amazon is, like you said, very, very, very strict. And I'm pretty sure you probably got banned or suspended, and you kind of had to have someone lift that ban for you to get the business moving.
Unfortunately, actually, fortunately, I mean, I've never been suspended. My account, knock on wood. um, I have gotten products taken down for a patent,
Mm,
but since I've had that my account for a long time, my actual account never got suspended,
okay.
and none of my students' accounts have been suspended. So, but yes, I do see those crazy, stories that happen um on like those Facebook groups and stuff. But yeah, so like one of my products was a patent, and it was like such a random product. It was like a disposable toilet seat cover, right? And I usually like and this, like, I kind of have my process when I do product research. Like whenever I find a product, I go to Google Patents, make sure that it's not patented, right? I I went into there and I did not see it, and I sourced it. I got it on Amazon. It was selling great, and all of a sudden it gets taken down. I'm like, what? A patent? And it was patented. So you always got to make sure you do your research on the type of product that you're selling. Just go to googlepatents.com, and I
Mm-hmm.
found it there. I'm like, I guess I was careless for that product, and it's just I found it on the search results. I'm like, oh, there it is. Damn.
Yeah.
But thank God I only got 100 units. It wasn't that much of an investment for that. I didn't lose that much, but yeah.
Okay. So we kind of went through the 101 of things, but I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure there's a lot of nuances that we're missing that, of course, anyone listening to this, they'd be like, oh, it's easy. Let me just do it myself. But once you're in the front of the computer, it's really tough, right?
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
some nuances that you think are very essential that everyone should know that you wish that you knew when you first
Mhm.
started?
Okay. Rule number one, do your product research, right? Learn that properly. Getting to markets that are not that competitive, look at the reviews. Rule number two, make sure you're not selling a trademark or patent item. Do your research on that. Rule number three, um, I would say buy very little items in the very beginning. Test your idea. I know you're gonna get excited, and that happened to me for my first item. You're like, I'm gonna kill it with this product. It's because it's yours. You're like, everyone's gonna love it. It's my product. And there's obviously they're gonna buy it, but not everybody thinks like you. So you can get a small units in the beginning, and or you can even run a poll before you even buy any products on pickfood.com. That's what I teach on my coaching program as well. It's a small way to validate your idea before you even get any products. But yes, validate your idea, whether it is buying small amounts or running polls before you even get any products made. Um, and yeah, don't buy like 2,000 units on your first round without testing it out. Because if you get 1,000 units and then you put it on Amazon, you're like, oh, it's not selling. That's it. You're gonna lose a lot of money. So yes.
Mm-hmm. So is that like the very first thing in the chain of selling on Amazon is the product research is arguably the most important step?
Yes. 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 That's definitely the most important step, I would say. That's the number one thing that most people fail on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, sourcing. Yeah. So make sure, obviously, you want to make sure that everybody that you're paying on Alibaba, you're paying them to what's called trade assurance. It's a form of payment that Alibaba offers. And if you don't ever get your products, or your products never arrive at the warehouse, you can actually just dispute that with Alibaba, and they'll give you 100% of your money back.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ever pay a supplier with like Western Union or Zelle or whatever, like sketch way of paying somebody. You know that you can't get your money back. So that's definitely something that, you know, I've seen some people like, oh, I never got my products and I paid this guy $5,000. I sent him a Western Union transfer. I'm like, dumbass, you're
Yeah.
not gonna get your money back, you know.
Uh-huh.
So make sure you pay to trade assurance on Alibaba, and whenever you have your products in stock, make sure you're ranking for your correct keywords. So like if you're selling yoga mats, don't make sure you have the keyword yoga mats on your title, right? And you want to make sure you're running ads for those correct keywords, and so you're showing up on page one for the correct
Mm-hmm.
audience.
Yeah.
That's it.
So now, in terms of your personal ambitions, you know, your personal investments, you're making
Mhm.
6 figures. You have multiple businesses, multiple forms of income,
Income,
multiple
yeah.
income streams. Now, do you do anything outside of Amazon? Maybe invest in real estate, stocks to kind of build up your wealth.
Yes. I'm buying property here in Miami. I've already
Dope.
bought one. I'm working on investing on a commercial real estate deal right now. One of my friends, he's a real estate developer. So I'm just saving up because that initial investment is like 300K. So
Sheesh.
yeah, but it's gonna be good. So I'm just saving that up, and that will be my next big investment.
Okay, so that's like your next, not I'm not gonna say logical step, but your next ambition of going into real estate, using the money that you're making from
Yeah.
coaching and Amazon into real estate.
Yes. Those are my big two. E-commerce and real estate is definitely what um I'm focusing on.
Mm-hmm. And is there ever a point where, you know, maybe your private label brand is so big that you at some point, maybe it's a good idea to create your own Shopify store and create an actual
Uh,
brand?
yeah. So I've done that.
Oh.
My first product was on the baby category. I created a Shopify store for it, and it's good. It's getting some sales. Obviously, I'm not. I mean, I would say it's getting like 10% of the sales that I'm getting from Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. It's running in the background. But yes, obviously you can see it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The baby niche was like the first one that worked for me. So I have that running as well. I did Shopify as well. Like I tried that. Drop shipping on with Facebook ads didn't really work for me that well. Obviously, I was testing like multiple like general store type of niches, but right now I do have one Shopify for my baby niche that I just drive traffic from my Amazon sales to that. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the move nowadays where, you know, the conversion rate on Amazon is so high that you want to have it on there first. And
Mhm.
then once you see that it's validated, then you can kind of create your own Shopify store. People can ask, oh, should I create my own Shopify store first or sell on Amazon? But I think if you really want to test the market, validate your idea, um, maybe put your product first on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could go ways. I mean, drop shipping is just like you have to get like if you're gonna run Facebook ads to your Shopify store, you need to make sure that you're doing like high margin items, because if you're paying like $5 per customer to get to your product and buy, and your profit margins at $5 per unit, you're not making anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little tough. I would say,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little tough.
Oh, actually, there's actually one more question that just came across my mind. Something that's very, I think it's important that comes with product research. Now, do you focus on products that will have a high profit margin? And the first thing that comes to mind are cosmetic products, because their margins are extremely, extremely high. Is
Mhm.
that a focus that you have, or is it a good strategy?
Yeah, so I would only sell a product that makes me like very minimum at least $5 on Amazon, 30% margin.
Okay,
And it's selling at least 10 times a day. Like the very minimum I'll make from a certain product that I sell is at least like 1,500 a month profit.
got it.
So it's worth my time. Anything
Dope.
less than that, there's sellers that'll sell like 1,000 products and make 500 a month, which is great. That's what works for them. That's just, it's just kind of like what I set for myself. I'm like, okay, if it makes less than that, it's not really worth my time. You got to find a supplier, invest on it, ship it. That's kind of like my my cut right there.
Yeah, I feel you. So Dave, man, I have to say, I think we learned a lot here. We went
Yeah.
from A, we kind of went from A to Z, kind of
Yes,
the
sir.
101 of
Mhm.
selling on Amazon private labeling. If people want to learn more about you, go into your coaching program, where can they
Yes.
check you out?
Yes. So you can just go to ecomdave.com/Amazon FBA. There's going to be a free training on how to sell on Amazon. At the end of the training, if you are truly interested, you can apply for my coaching program. And then after your application, then we can actually get on the phone. You'll be able to book a call at the end after you fill out your application. I want to make sure that you're a good fit for my coaching program before we get on the call, because as you know, it's one-on-one coaching. So the application will have you ask you a couple questions about yourself and what's your vision with Amazon. And if everything goes good, then we'll get on the phone and I will personally help you build a successful business, kind of like what I've done for myself and like 50 other people so far.
Dope. So I'll put that in the show notes. And of course, if people want to, what other Instagram handles or social media handles do you have that people can hit you up as well?
Just Ecom Dave. That's it.
Econ Dave on
Yeah, send me
Instagram.
or you can just send me a DM on Ecom Dave. Say, hey, I'm interested on Amazon. We'll talk back and forth. I'll send you over the application and we'll get started.
Dope. So I'll put that on the show notes if anyone wants to DM you on IG or
Yes,
go
sir.
into your coaching program, then it's all there, all right, Dave?
Let's get the bag.
Let's get it, bro. Dude, it was
Let's
a pleasure.
get that bag, my man.
I appreciate it, Dave. I think we learned a lot here.
All right, boss.
So I'll let you know once the podcast is uploaded. It's gonna take about a week, and then of course I'll make the clips. I'll tag you in it. And one more thing, I know you have your own content on IG. If you want, I can send you the raw files.
Yes, that'd be great.
Will do. All right, Dave. It was a pleasure, bro. Thank
It
you
was a
very
pleasure,
much.
my man. Yes, no problem.
Take
Bye.
care, all right?